2022 Tesla Model S Sedan. The Tesla Model S is the car that kickstarted the EV revolution we're living through right now. For a while, the Model S didn't have any true rivals because automakers were playing catch-up in the electric vehicle market, but now the competition has finally arrived. The Porsche Taycan, Mercedes EQS and Lucid Air want a piece of the market the Model S has owned for the thick end of the decade. Tesla recently gave the Model S a thorough refresh inside and out, with a massaged look, a new infotainment screen and the much-talked-about steering yoke. Tesla originally claimed that it would make a Plaid Plus version with a 520-mile range as well as 1,100 horsepower but has since walked that back. Plaid is as quick as the Model S is going to get for now, but as our testing has shown, it's plenty more than enough. There are some drawbacks here. Despite constant improvements over the years, the Model S interior isn't quite as refined as those in similarly priced rivals. Style might also be a turnoff. The Model S design is now a decade old and doesn't really stand out anymore. Effectively, the competition is well on its way to catching what was once the undisputed king of the EV world. The Tesla Model S Plaid is the Usain Bolt of the car world. Line it up at a drag strip and it'll outsprint pretty much anything on the road today. The Model S hatchback practicality and access to Tesla's supercharger network are big pluses too. Unfortunately, the Model S also has some big drawbacks, such as a frustrating interface, the steering yoke, specifically, and disappointing fit and finish. The thrust and speed delivered by this tri-motor powered sedan is nothing short of mind-bending. In Edmunds testing, the Model S Plaid rocketed from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.3 seconds and passed the quarter-mile mark in 9.4 seconds at 150.8 miles per hour. This is the quickest vehicle Edmunds has ever tested by a good margin, surpassing the prior Model S performance, 2.9 seconds and 11.1 seconds, respectively, or sport coupes such as the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, 2.8 and 10.8 seconds, respectively. The Model S is also as easy to drive as a golf cart, albeit a 1,020 horsepower one. You might know that Tesla claims 0 to 60 miles per hour happens in just 1.99 seconds. The difference between our as-tested result and Tesla's likely comes down to the testing surface and number crunching. We do our acceleration tests on regular pavement, not a prepared drag strip. We also publish acceleration without using the drag racing 1-foot rollout. Applying that calculation would drop our tested 0 to 60 miles per hour time down to 2.1 seconds. We're less impressed with the Plaid's ability to stop and turn. While the powertrain will mostly retain its capability to catapult you to irresponsible speeds run after run, the brakes on our test car began to fade after slowing down from a few acceleration blasts. We ended up having to spend some significant time cooling down the brakes to ensure that they still worked. So from a safety standpoint, we lack some confidence in the Plaid's stopping hardware. Even more disappointing is the Plaid's steering, which always feels too light and lacks a connection to the road. It's exacerbated by the awkward steering yoke that doesn't seem to serve any ergonomic function. The Plaid's tri-motor setup supposedly provides some sort of rear axle torque vectoring, but the handling feels more muscle car than sports car. It's not something that feels natural despite the loads of road grip provided by the sticky summer tires. The Model S Plaid's world-beating speed doesn't come at the expense of everyday comfort. This is a car you wouldn't hesitate to take on a road trip, run errands or commute in. Ride comfort is commendable with the standard adaptive air suspension, even with the larger optional 21-inch wheels and their less cushy tire sidewalls. The climate control is tri-zone and works relatively well. The seat ventilation and heaters work well too. But the seats themselves are nothing special. The cushions are decently soft but lack lateral support considering the Plaid's performance potential, and the adjustments are pretty basic. The rear seat backs feel a bit upright and the floor sits high so your knees sit closer to your chest than they would in most other luxury sedans. The absence of a gasoline powertrain means a lot less noise entering the cabin, but there is some that comes from the electric motors, and some to a lesser degree from the road and the wind. This is one of the few areas where Tesla has taken a step back with the new Model S. The controversial steering yoke is the largest pain point here, and the decision to remove the traditional column stocks and replace them with touch-sensitive buttons has made simple everyday actions much more distracting. Even changing lanes requires you to take your eyes off the road momentarily to press the correct arrow button. The big 17-inch touchscreen is a little easier to navigate than the previous Model S touchscreen, but learning the menu structure will take a bit of time. Interior space is decent as far as midsize sedans go, as is the ease of getting in and out. Notably, there is far more space here than in the Model S closest EV competitor, the Porsche Taycan. The all-glass roof provides lots of headroom, but backseat tow room is a bit tight under the front seats. The floor height is also awkwardly high when you're sitting in back. The Model S is easy to see out of, especially out the front. The Model S fastback hatch makes for a slightly shorter window view out of the back, but not so short to cause any real obstruction. Having Google Maps built in continues to be one of the better navigation experiences, but it's not without issues. In areas of spotty service, you'll either have a slow refreshing map or no map at all. But having the power of Google Search in the car is a huge convenience, not to mention it looks great on a 17-inch touchscreen. The Plaid's 22-speaker sound system is also quite awesome and can push out loud yet rich sound through the cabin. Though Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration has become pervasive in the industry, Tesla still doesn't offer either system. The Bluetooth system offers just one phone connection at a time, while on some other cars you can connect additional devices. At least there are ample options for keeping your devices charged up with 4 wireless chargers, 4 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. As far as driving aids go, no advanced driving aid system is better known than Tesla's autopilot. It works great in slow-moving and stop-and-go traffic, but it seems to be more easily spooked or confused on roads that aren't clearly marked or aligned with parked cars on the shoulder. Tesla has a tendency to release new features in beta phase 2, making you the guinea pig. This underdeveloped approach feels half-baked. The Tesla Model S is actually a hatchback, and that means there's lots of rear cargo space, plus a bonus front trunk that's easy to access and take advantage of. It features far more cargo space than many rivals, EV or not. The split rear seats fold flat, opening up the space even more. Storage up front is much improved compared to prior years of the Model S. There's a variety of sliding and retracting compartments that better help to organize all your stuff up front. The cup holders still lack an anti-tip design and don't hold drinks all that well. But there are also now door pockets, which means not everything has to go in the center console storage space. Getting a car seat in and out is relatively easy. The doors open wide, though the anchors seem to be buried a little deeper than usual. The lack of headroom might be a bit of an issue when installing a seat. The 2021 Model S Plaid we tested was equipped with the optional 21-inch wheels, giving it an EPA estimated range of 348 miles and a consumption rate of 33 kWh, 100 miles. In Edmund's real-world range testing, we came up just a tiny bit short of the EPA estimates, managing 345 miles on a single max battery charge with a slightly more efficient consumption rate of 32.1 kWh, 100 miles. That's more range than just about every EVs we've tested except the Model 3 long range. The electricity consumption is also impressive given the car's power. A Porsche Taycan 4S we tested, for example, checked in with 32.3 kWh, 100 miles. Is the Tesla Model S Plaid a good buy for the money at nearly $140,000? Well, that depends on what you value. If you're looking for a vehicle with incredible speed and nearly unassailable bragging rights, there is nothing better for the money. However, we found a number of questionable build quality issues, from the driver's door not being aligned correctly to torn rubber moldings and noticeably crooked interior trim pieces. If these sorts of things are overlooked during production, it makes us a bit uneasy about how the more important hardware has been assembled. Build quality aside, access to Tesla's vast supercharger network is one of the best parts of Tesla ownership. It helps relieve range anxiety and can allow you to take the Model S across the country on most major highways without worry. The basic warranty is 4 years, 50,000 miles, which is about average in this luxury EV segment. The powertrain and battery are covered for 8 years, 120,000 miles. Putting aside personal biases of those of us who prefer cars that are fun to drive around corners, the sheer power, speed and the ease of its accessibility make the Model S Plaid incredibly entertaining. It also has a strong sleeper vibe. There's no giant rear wing or other obvious styling element to indicate that you're driving a 1020 horsepower sedan. We heartily respect understatement. Oh, Did we mention that we drag raced this car against two of the fastest production motorcycles in existence? Yeah, we did that. And the Model S won. Handily.